Hey, David.
Hey, Derek.
It's another Gimmicks bonus episode. We are celebrating Christmas with a good Christmas episode.
Yeah.
We're covering a community episode. If you are familiar with our podcast, we've obviously covered a community a couple times. So if you're looking for deeper dives into community, look back in our backlog. We've done Remedial Chaos Theory. We've done Digital Estate Planning, I think was the name of that episode too.
Yep.
So this is not going to be a deep community conversation. I'm sure we will return to community again in the future, maybe for an episode that's finally not in season 3, because it seems to be the zone we're always in.
When I saw that this was in season 3, Derek, I
know.
died. I was like, come on, man.
Come on, seriously. 6 seasons and we keep running into episodes from season 3. Anyway, this is a much more informal bonus episode.
Yeah.
And really, we just wanted to have a nice little capper to the year / palate cleanser / companion to our previous episode.
Genuinely. Yeah.
So if you listened last week, we covered Glee with our friend Hamish. It was a wonderful conversation. If you haven't listened to that episode, you should. I think we have a lot of really great stuff to say. I think we had a lot of fun. I think it's a fun episode to listen to, but it's of an episode of Glee that's not very good, which we all kind of agree on. And Glee itself as a show is a show that, you know, a little bit flawed and not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
So rather than sort of end the year on that note, I think we just wanted to have a nice little companion bonus to it, because this episode of Community, Regional Holiday Music, which is the 10th episode of season 3, is directly a parody of Glee. It's more than that, which I think we'll talk about, and I think that's what makes it work. But the origin of it is to be a parody of the TV show Glee, very of its time of like existing in the height of Glee's popularity, and then being basically being this sort of show that was constantly on the bubble, constantly underperforming, punching up and being a takedown of this gigantic juggernaut show that was on a rival network. So and weren't they competitors time slot wise at certain points, or am I making that up?
Certain points, yes, but then Glee, they moved to try to get other things too. But so it was interesting because normally when things get moved, they get moved to try to like go next to something more popular. Glee seemed to move to take something that was in an existing time slot and make that more popular. And so that is where it ended up bumping into. And as we talked about last week's episode, Glee, not the juggernaut that it once was, a fast flame that burned hot and bright, and it's on its way down.
What season of Glee was running when
Derek?
this episode came out?
This episode, Regional Holiday Music, is 3 days before Extraordinary Merry Christmas that we covered last week. No way! 3 days
That wasn't
before.
intentional.
No.
This was, you pitched doing Glee, and my response was, I will do Glee if we do the Community Regional Holiday Music episode as a bonus. I didn't realize they was literally the same time these came out.
Same week these two episodes
That's
air.
so funny. Because this aired December 8th, 2011. That's so fucking funny. Yep. Oh my God.
Yep. And now prepare for your heart to be broken, because twice as many people watched that Glee episode than watched this episode, which is criminal, because this is a fantastic episode of television.
It is, but that's like the story of Community, especially this season, right? This is because this was the last episode where they went on like a really super long hiatus, and it was a whole hubbub of is the show getting canceled or not. And they switched some airing orders of stuff when it came back and everything. Like, this was the height of of like, if you were a Community fan, like wanting to pull your hair out and realizing like, oh fuck, I think this show might actually be dying. And then Community fans went rabid after that and have remained that way for the past 10 years, 10 or so years.
But it's funny how far not Glee has fallen. Glee is still very popular, but Glee is just not the juggernaut that it used to. So this is the right time to take a swing at it, truly and honestly.
Sure.
And good for Community for doing it.
What I will say about this episode, though, and I don't know how in depth we're going to get in with this as a bonus or whatever, but the general thing that I think rewatching this today after having seen Glee, like, and talking about it for a long time and having to live in the Glee world for a brief time, what I think makes this episode work so well is that, A, you don't need to be familiar with the show Glee to like appreciate this, because B, the Glee parody is like the inception for what they're doing. It's a completely
otherwise it's just a musical episode. Yeah.
It's a musical invasion of the Body Snatchers episode. That's what's so funny about it. That premise on its own would work as an episode of Community. You don't even need the context for for the show Glee in this at all. It's just like, it's a funny concept that there's like the idea of an evil Glee club that like spreads and makes everyone join and then like takes them over. Like, I think that is a brilliant concept. Just the additional context of there also being a popular TV show called Glee that like people feel like is kind of shitty. Like, that just elevates it a little bit, you know?
Well, I think that there were some fun things in here. So I'm excited to like dive into a couple of the unique aspects of this, but I do think you're right. Like, I think this stands alone. If Glee had never existed, you could have done this episode. I don't think you would have hit regional so hard. And I regret to say this, but like it worked for me every time Chevy Chase was like, what are regionals? Like that.
It's funny.
It worked for me in like a wholesale way.
Yeah, it's a good bit, but the only Glee things that are in here are the regionals bit, the acapella score that they include, which I think also would work if you've never watched the show Glee, because it's just sort of funny, kind of almost creepy addition to the Body Snatchers thing that they're doing. And like Taran Killam's character, I think is definitely kind of meant to be like an exaggerated version of the teacher in Glee.
Yeah,
but even still,
you don't need it.
It stands alone. You don't need that.
Yeah, you didn't need to know who Mr. Schuster was. I mean, the only real call out on that is doing a shortening of his name, because they do call him Mr. Shu in Glee, and they call him Mr. Radisson, Mr. Rad in this. But
that's fair.
I think that's the tether of like direct correlations.
Yeah, because otherwise he's just like a heightened, like super annoying, but also very menacing, like Glee teacher who's the villain of the episode. Like,
okay, so
it works.
So like Chang for Glee, like Community's already done this. It's great. It's awesome. It's what makes Community work.
Right, exactly. So like, yeah, I think, and I think that's like it. That's the only thing I can think of that otherwise that is like really directly referencing Glee, you know?
Yeah.
And like, cause I was thinking about like the alternative would be something more like what like a sketch show like SNL or Mad TV or something would do, where it's like actually having characters cast in specific character roles from the show Glee or something. But because this is so non-specific, again, it lets it stand alone. And also, like, I think it's mean, but it doesn't feel too mean, because they're not really attacking anybody particular that works on the show.
No.
They're really just kind of attacking the general concept of the show Glee and how silly it sounds, which, like, objectively, it's a silly concept for a show. So
yeah. And honestly, the original songs are all character songs.
Good.
And they're fucking good. It's wild that Glee made its whole thing like, we're going to try to make an original song so that we can make more money, and your song sucks. And these 5 songs are fucking hilarious and bops.
Right. Like, and this isn't a jukebox musical episode.
No.
This is Community's first like true full musical episode. And I also do think that is a better takedown of Glee than if they were just more directly parodying stuff, because their whole thing is like, your whole fucking show's about music, but you don't even like make your own fucking music. We're going to do one episode of a non-musical show and all of our songs are going to be bangers.
Yeah.
So look, we're better at this than you are, musical show.
And they're like kind of good Christmas songs too. I think is the other weird thing about it, is that they actually really work for the holiday of it all in a way that I think Extraordinary Merry Christmas didn't even work as a Christmas song.
I gotta be honest, David. I don't remember what the original song for that one was. I've already forgotten that.
Yeah. Because it wasn't good. It was terrible, Derek. It was not a good song.
Yeah.
Whereas Baby Boomer Santa is a good song. It's stupid, it's funny, and it's catchy.
Yeah. How do you want to do this?
I think we could kind of talk about the chronology of the episode and just sort of very, very, very high level beat by beat on this, because there's a couple things that I do want to yank out and talk a little bit through. But it does all start when, Abed is wondering about Christmas, because that's sort of Abed's thing, and this sort of picks up the slack of where season 2's Christmas episode, which that was the claymation one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
fantastic.
Yes. Season 1 was like the non-concept episode where it's really just them dealing with their religions, like how they're different religions and belief systems. Which honestly, I don't.
Good episode.
Right. And then season 2 is the claymation one, which like I think there's technically 4 Christmas episodes. I think the 4th season's Christmas episode is no one's favorite. That's the rope parody. It's fine, but it's no one's favorite Christmas episode. I think season 2's is usually regarded as like the top tier one, and I do think that episode's a piece of art. I do kind of gravitate towards season 1 and season 3's as my like most revisited though, because I do think season 1 in the way that it like really interrogates the difference in belief systems that people have around the holidays. Like I've never seen a show tackle it in that way before. And then it persists, even like it echoes into even this episode it's like using people like these characters' different religious beliefs and connections with Christmas to like inform their character and then inform the songs that they're singing, which is really cool.
Yeah. So Jeff has reported the Glee Club for using copyright music. It's an incredible Jeff Winger moment, and I just love it. And the Glee Club has a nervous breakdown. They are like gone.
It's very funny. Yeah.
And that is sort of what motivates the dean to then come and be like, you should come and help with the Glee Club.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing that I'd forgotten about, that like it's part of the show's lore that they establish as an off joke in like the second season, their fake clip show episode.
Yeah.
It's the first time that they made jokes about the show Glee before, but the first time they really go hard on a Glee parody is one of the clips in that clip show is like, remember when we filled in for Glee Club for like a weekend and they cut to them like singing like it's in the like from the show Glee.
Yeah.
And that was just a one-off joke.
Thank you.
But they like made that part of the lore and then used that as the backdrop for this episode that like, yeah, we filled in for Glee that one time and it was kind of a weird experience. I don't think we want to do it again because it's like something felt really off about that. And then when the Glee Club is like completely has like a nervous breakdown and are put in a mental hospital after this, then the Glee teacher is like, you guys have filled in before, you can fill it again, right? And I think, oh yeah, that was in that clip show too. They established that they were filling in because the Glee Club had died in a tragic bus accident.
Yeah. But that was like a throwaway joke. That was just like
it was a joke,
a gag.
Yeah.
And now it's like very, very critically important to this, and we'll learn why at the end of the episode.
It's really clever.
It's a little bit of a slasher moment for Mr. Rad at the end, and it's really great.
Yeah, I love it. I love the unexpected lore building this show would do sometimes.
Yeah. And then, as you mentioned, Taran Killam is the Glee professor, I guess, teacher or whatever, Mr. Rad, and he is the one who like slowly wants to try to recruit them, and he starts with Abed.
David, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you look at Taran Killam's Wikipedia page and look at the picture of him that's listed on Wikipedia now?
Oh.
Taran. Buddy,
what has happened? Come back to television.
Yeah, he like disappeared and then like went full daddy mode. Because it doesn't look like the same guy.
No.
I've never had any even this episode jokes about his like boyish charm or whatever.
He's cute, but he's hot here.
Yeah, no, there's nothing boyish about him. This is fully like daddy right now. Oh my God.
He's in that hyper potential. God, I have to watch this show. I have to watch High Potential.
I didn't know. He's like aged incredibly well. Wow.
Derek.
Wow.
Okay, this is not the point of the episode. Married to Kobe Smulders, you couldn't get hotter. Like, this is...
Are you serious?
Wow, good for you, sir. Good for you, sir.
Okay. Wow.
Hot.
Wow.
Incredible. Have children. Wow. Please have children. Wow. Wow. This is... I'm really glad you asked me to do this. This is a very, very hot man.
Yeah. Well, I was on the Wikipedia page and I like, hovered over it. So it gave me the preview and I was like, why are they showing me a picture of a completely different man? That's not Taran Killam. And then I clicked on the picture and I'm like, wow, no, that's him. He just got big upgrade.
played Lancelot in the Broadway revival of Spamalot. God, this man is just firing on every cylinder I have, Derek.
Anyway, he's funny in this episode though.
So funny because he's got the crazy eyes, and he does it perfectly. Even when he's like sincere, there's still a veneer of like evil behind them.
Yeah.
So we get our first original song, which is just called Glee, which is him convincing Abed to join the Glee Club.
Glee, it's a feeling you get when your brain finally lets your heart get in its pants. Glee, it's like a drug that you use that turns pain into shoes and your shoes into dance.
How's your piano still playing this song?
Glee is the answer when questions are wrong. You'll understand if you just sing along, 'cause Glee is the gift that you need.
I think I know this is the first one in it. I think this is my favorite because it's so, the wordplay in this song is really fun. And the whole idea of it, that it's just a duet between him and Abed, and it's just him trying to convince Abed that like, hey, look, this is just meant to be fun. The word Glee literally means like happy,
Yeah.
And yeah, but like all the wordplay in it is really funny of Abed sort of first picking up on like the weirdness of like, wait, we're breaking into a musical right now. And when he like, when Mr. Rad, are we referring to, do you refer to him as Mr. Rad?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. That's what I think of him as.
Yeah. When Mr. Rad, like, just, jumps up and starts doing his dance. And part of the song's lyrics are, how's your piano still playing this song? And then Mr. Rad's answer is, Glee is the answer when questions are wrong.
Yes.
Like, those fucking lyrics are so good.
You know what it was giving for me, Derek? It was giving Willow's one line in the Buffy musical of I think this line's mostly filler because
yes,
like Danny Pudi is doing the Rex Harris. He's speaking. It's fine. It's actually great.
It's very good. Yeah.
I think it actually delivers on the Abed character more. Like maybe Danny Pudi can actually sing. This is the correct character choice to have Abed do this. But it's almost like a whole song of that, and I'm kind of in love with it. It's really, really great. And then Killam is like capital P performing. Like he is doing a job, and that's the good balance with Abed.
Yeah, I think I think that's what makes the song so fun is having that balance there to counter each other. And I think that they get a few jabs into Glee in the song too. Like I forget what the line is, but Abed like saying like on Glee, like they sing their emotions instead of making a face.
Yeah.
And then also the everything's cooler when cameras are spinning bit, which is a thing. If you watch any episode of Glee, cameras are fucking spinning all around. It's like, I guess you don't have to choreograph a dance. If you just make the camera move enough, you don't have to actually move that much. And it'll make it look like it's really dynamic.
Yeah. You've already forgotten it, which is good for your mental health, Derek. But one of my big criticisms of the original song from last week was that it was so frenetic to watch that I thought I was going to get seasick. And here, when they sing about the camera spinning, we do like barely a 75-degree angle. Like that is all we get in this scene. And that makes it cheaper to produce. That makes it's a little bit more on the Community budget end of things. But it worked for the scene, and it was just awesome. When the camera eventually shoots them from above, I was like dying. It was just, I would see this on Community because it's Community, but it's so out of house style that it just tells you that you're in a different world.
Yeah, right. It's good. It's really funny. I love it. It's such a catchy song.
Yeah.
But that's how it starts, is that like basically, the sort of body snatchery thing starts stopping here, starts happening here because Abed like does kind of get sort of latched on to this and caught up in the idea. Because I think, and part of it, this is also responding to the season 2 Christmas episode that like Abed wants Christmas to be like a fun, nice time for his friends, and all of his friends in the show are like, cynical adults who are like, we got other shit going on. Sorry. And so the idea of like trying to force like lightness into darkness, which I think, I don't know how much they were thinking about it, but it also kind of feels a little bit like that also feels like it's responding to Glee in a way where Glee would like have these dark storylines, but also just like have these people happily singing poppy pop songs at the same time. And there's a weird sort of contradiction there. And I kind of feel like this episode is playing that idea a little bit of like, you can't just make things feel nicer and happier when they're already dark by just forcing them to be lighter,
Right. Because then 10 years go by and 2 queer podcasters are like, why are we singing this song at the end of this episode in a homeless shelter? What the fuck are we doing here?
Right. Exactly. It just like highlights how dark things actually are.
Yeah. But to the body snatchers of it all, now Abed is infected, so he can go get Troy. And I don't know. I feel like I'm going to say they're my favorite songs for 4 of them, but I love Jehovah's Secret Witness.
Going deep, cover past enemy lines, making everybody think I'm on the Christmas side. Rocking warm sweaters, hanging big ass lights. If the fat man can see me, yo, it's gotta look right. I watch all the TV specials that I never could. I'll even cry during the sad ones like James Bond would. And when the big night comes, it's time to set the bait. Cold milk, hot cookies, decorative plates. And he'll come down the chimney and it will be just him and me, but he won't know we're enemies cause stop play sincere. Bring a trap like that, help him tight, get on his lap and tell him he can come back every year. Cause I am Jehovah's most secret witness, so I might have to dedicate my life to Christmas and act just like I love it till the day I die.
I was raised Jehovah's Witness, so having JW representation on one of my favorite sitcoms, and Donald Glover was that character, was always really like, by the time the show was out, I was already like out of that, but that's how I was raised, and I had that experience of like never being able to celebrate Christmas and feeling left out of that stuff. And I think the show they never went hard enough on it to like have a bunch of stuff that they get wrong or that would go over people's heads. It really was just, they really would only bring it up for like, he doesn't celebrate birthdays and he doesn't celebrate Christmas, and here's conflict that can come from that.
Right.
He still would like celebrate Halloween and shit, and no one would comment on it, but like it's fine. But I like when they do bring it up as a joke, because it's usually only brought up when they have something clever to do with that idea.
Right.
And in this case, it simply leans on, he doesn't celebrate Christmas, even though all his friends do, and he kind of wants to, which is the Jehovah's Witness experience. And the phrase Jehovah's Witness is so funny and absurd. Like it is the most nonsense, weird name for a religious denomination to have. It's like nonsense.
Yeah.
So to build a song around that phrase is really clever, and like nothing fucking else on TV has ever done anything like that.
No, it feels subversive, and but yet, like, not that it's okay to make fun of some Jehovah's Witnesses, but that does seem to be.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
I'm saying
it happens
as
a
someone
lot.
who
It
was
happens a
raised
lot.
in that, as someone who was raised in that awful religion, yes,
it happens
it is
a lot.
fully okay to make fun of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. Well, and Donald Glover, a Jehovah's Witness, right? That before he got involved with Hollywood. He was raised Jehovah's Witness and is no longer religious. Like, okay, like every fucking Jehovah's Witness I know, Donald Glover. Like,
Yeah, I
think that's why they brought it in to season 1 Christmas episode, and then like it just became part of Troy's character from there, which is great. Like, good for you. But I love that we get a little bit of like Childish Gambino rapping here. Like I this is a good song from a lyric perspective. It's got a good beat. We get Abed back into it, which is also fun.
And the lighting in the rap video is so good. I like, how do you describe that the particular color contrast and the sort of like kind of high contrast, high saturation, like kind of bluish tint with like really, really bright like stage lights on it that are like reflected in the sunglasses. Like, I've seen so many videos of like, you know, from this time period and like late 90s too, that looked like this. And then the random auto-tune bit too.
The auto-tune is so good, because that felt like a jab at Glee. That because again, this is a person who can sing. Why auto-tune them? Well, you auto-tune them because you want it to sound that way. And that felt like a little bit of a jab at Rachel Berry in particular.
Yeah. But yeah, Jehovah's Secret Witness is just such a fucking clever song.
Good song.
It's such a clever song. And a good rap.
Yeah, good rap. And now that you've got Troy and Abed, you can go after Pierce, I guess. And they construct this recruitment song for Pierce, telling him about all the ways in which they are thankful for baby boomers making Christmas great.
He made the Iron Curtain and the Gremlins too. Fake butter and AIDS and Twin Peaks. Baby Boomer Santa, thank you for MTV. Baby Boomer Santa, thank you for everything.
You're welcome. You're welcome for everything in the world. You're welcome. You're welcome for all that I bring.
This one's just, it's only funny because it's so on the nose about how to convince a past generation that they are better in order to get the things that you want done. You see politicians do this all the time. You see marketing companies do this all the time. And Pierce would absolutely fall for this.
Yeah, the thing, they list the most absurd things too. Like there's like that one list of fake butter, AIDS, and Twin Peaks.
Yes. And we get to the point that like we like sort of ignore that Gen X exists and just give those things to baby boomers too, which is also very on the nose to what baby boomers want.
Yeah, right. That's like real.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
It's why people, all this generational stuff is bullshit just as a high level thing, but it is why people who like ascribe themselves as Gen X feel left out, because yes, baby boomers take most of your stuff and then millennials came and took the rest of your stuff.
Yeah. I also think that like Chevy Chase is really good in this. Like that's the thing that was always, I think, a little frustrating about him being like such a stick in the mud about this show and being such an asshole like in life, is that like he would still give it even if he like didn't know what he was doing. And like I think he's like, this scene, it's when he like starts, like his brain is like short circuiting like and activating, seeing all the stuff that he loves. It's so funny. It's so funny.
It is so funny. It is outrageously outrageously delivered. He does a little bit of singing as well. That again, I don't know if Chevy
It
Chase
works.
can sing, but it works perfectly for Pierce.
I have to imagine he can't. He does not seem like someone who can hold a note in any way.
Here's the deal. I believe Danny Pudi might be able to sing. I don't believe Chevy Chase can sing.
No.
But you need both of them to do this in order to like sell the characters.
Yeah. Some like other little jokes that they throw out here that I really like. I didn't know this until we talked about Glee, like exactly what this joke was. But there's a, like when Troy and Abed are just talking, like, how could you hate Glee? It's like, you don't want to be mean about it. And then Jeff says, not like in Glee Club isn't bullying, and implying that is reverse bullying. And I always was sort of like, that's a funny thing to say, I guess, learning the context that Ryan Murphy would literally just like call out any bands or musicians that just like weren't interested in letting their songs be on Glee as like bullies about it, and how absurd that is. I'm like, oh shit, that is a direct pointed reference and like pushback on Ryan Murphy, which I really appreciate.
And after that exchange, Mr. Rad goes, look, Kings of Leon. And that is like an arrow to the heart. And that is why I was really glad that we spent a little time talking about Kings of Leon last week.
Yeah. So I've never even considered thinking about that as a reference to Glee. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Yeah.
What do you think of Mr. Rad being referred to as like someone in a sweater vest who seems aggressively asexual?
I like it because I think that what it's attempting to do is, listen, I know that asexual folks are the minority of people even in the queer world, which is it is just a part of how numbers work. I think that the design of the joke, which Megan Gans was interviewed about and spoke a little bit about.
Oh, really?
It's interesting because she's not the writer on this episode, but she was interviewed about it and gave like, she was clearly in the writer's room answers to these questions.
She was a big part, I think, of every episode of the show until she left.
Like,
so
no fucking reason that we keep going back to season 3. It's like the Gans spectacular.
Yeah.
But she talked about like, it really is like a reference to the fact that like sexuality was so represented in the television series Glee, but it's not enough to just say like Mr. Rad is gay, because you've got the dean. So like you can't just do that. And to give Jeff that line felt a little bit like a nod to the variable sexuality of the Glee Club and the allowance to that. I think now that like some years have passed, it feels a little bit like a punch down moment on like the nature of asexuality, but I don't think that was the intent at all.
Yeah. Totally. I think it makes sense.
But like, fellow aces, if you think I'm wrong, like right into the podcast. Like I'm not representing the asexual community in the moment. That's just what I read from Gans and how I sort of read the thing. And in 2011, even having asexuality mentioned felt pretty good. So
yeah. You could also reclaim Mr. Rad and like make him one of yours.
Listen,
if you want to.
I love evil. Come to me, Mr. Rad. Especially now. Especially now.
Yeah, you know what? I think, could use a guy who's willing to cut the brakes on buses of certain people, honestly.
Yeah. Hello. That's a skill we all need.
An ace menace. That's what we need right now.
We sort of skip into it, but the next song is Teach Me How to Understand Christmas. So Annie gets convinced. She gets recruited by Troy Abed and Mr. Rad. And that sort of happens off screen. And then we go into this sequence where Alison Brie is seducing Joel McHale as Jeff. So it is Annie and Jeff in a room together, and she is in the lowest cut, sexiest little Santa outfit, but she is singing like a baby.
Teach me how to understand Christmas. Do I trim the tree or the deer? I can't keep it straight, and now it's getting late. Where does the stocking go? Here? I can't see. What's the Christmas Eve? Is that Santa's lady? Are snowmen cold or hot? Won't you be my daddy? I'm a silly Christmas baby. Tell me what to deck, because I forgot.
Annie.
And it's Derek. It's fun. I laughed so much this whole sequence.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about this, because I think the core idea of this and the way that it's subverted at the end is really funny. It is a satire of
Santa
like,
baby.
It's Santa baby, and how like when women are sexualized, it's usually making them look like little girls and babies, which is objectively weird and gross. And the song like basically makes her decline to the point that by the end of the song, she's literally crawling on all fours and can't say words. And like Jeff, even though like he was into it at first, is sort of like, okay,
This
that's
is too
a little
much.
much though. Like, this is too much. Like, I like that subversion. I think that's a really good commentary on those types of songs and the way that that particular way in which we sexualize women. I think that works. I do think that this show is looking back on the show and revisiting it, it is the history of the Jeff and Annie relationship.
Yeah.
Is a little bit weird and has some weirdness to it. I think that there are times when they play it well, and I do think by the end of the show it does land on a good place. But this was during the period when it was very much like fans were shipping the two, and the show was kind of leaning into it and like making a thing out of like, maybe it's weird that she's like 19 and there's a bit of a strange divide in where they are developmentally in life, but they're still hot together, right? And they kind of would lean on it a little. Sometimes they would make commentary on it. I think that was good, but other times they would just be like, yeah, they're hot together, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, man. So like in that context, this is a little bit weird because it's always been a strange dynamic.
Yeah.
But again, I think the show deals with it well sometimes and badly other times, and it just kind of depends. So I think in a vacuum, I do think that this works as a commentary. It's just a little bit weirder in context, but Allison Brie, I think, was always game for shit like this. So
and I think,
you know,
I think Brie ends up not being the problem. That sounds like bad, but I think Brie being so good and being so hot just as a person makes this a little difficult, because Jeff should be disgusted at the end of this. And yet it's funny to watch her. She is attractive. It's hard to detach the visual of Allison Brie in this costume doing something funny from being, oh, I'm now unattracted to you, because this is an attractive person doing a funny thing. And so I think it falls apart in the song's thesis is it's disgusting that we make women do this, but the visual is like, it's kind of
but she's hot though,
because she's hot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing is it's like, ultimately it is still like,
it's like reinforcing.
It's a man directing the sequence. And like, you know, many men who worked on the show did think Allison Brie was really hot, and Allison Brie was like, yeah, I'm hot. Yeah. So like, it's still kind of leaning on that, you know. It's just yeah. So it's a little more complicated than I want it to be.
Agreed,
I think ultimately, unfortunately.
Yeah. If you could have had like, I don't know, the dean come in and do a chorus with her, maybe that would help a little bit if they were both babies. But like, I don't even know how else to fix this, because on paper it works perfectly. It's just once you see it, it gets a little bit more complicated. Right. But the song is also very funny. I mean, it's just good
like,
lyrics.
You know, like the Betty Boop type voice that she's doing for it is really, really well done. And it is, like the absurd lengths they go to, because the whole point of it is that it's just like, wait, Annie, you're Jewish. Why are you like celebrating Christmas at this point for the Glee Club? That doesn't make sense. And so it's sort of like, well, I guess I have to learn what it is you have to teach me. And then all the lyrics are her misunderstanding Christmas things in progressively dumber and dumber and dumber ways, essentially, until she just devolves, basically.
Yeah. This is where we get her joke that she's going to go and be with her boobie, and that's where Troy is like, just what?
That was at the beginning of the episode.
Okay.
The boobie joke, yeah.
A good solid boob joke. I can't fault a good Yiddish boob joke. It's always going to get to me.
Yeah. My biggest gripe with this episode, I think, is that they really do Shirley dirty, like a lot of this show often did, especially this season. Because Yvette Nicole Brown, probably like the best like traditional singer of this entire cast, and yet I feel like frequently does not get the opportunity to actually sing her heart out like she should.
Yeah.
Her song, like, I don't think it was intended to be this short, but like, they always had to make cuts in this show, and the thing that they chose to cut was cutting her song down to like a half a second.
Yeah, it sucks.
It feels like a very special birthday, but whose name should be written on the cake?
Shirley, you need to get out of here.
We asked our public school to give the answer. They're not going to tell you. But they could only teach us not to pray. The Constitution says the state can't tell us. Was anyone important born today?
Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ is Lord! Happy birthday, Jesus! Cut the cake now. Cut the cake, my Lord!
I didn't re-listen to the commentary, but I have a vague memory of her or someone on the commentary like complaining about that. It's just sort of like, why the fuck didn't you show the rest of that song? Everybody else got a full fucking song. Like, come on.
And I think the problem is that once Shirley starts singing, it's the less interesting part of the song. It's interesting to Shirley's character, but the kids' lyrics are like,
right.
Well, anyway, like, we can't celebrate Christmas because of public schools, which is so funny.
It's so, that they're like, we asked our public school to tell us, whose birthday it is. And you hear Shirley be like, they're not going to tell you. No, they're not going to tell you. They're
not going to tell you was my laugh of the episode. I howled because
it's so good.
Yvette Nicole Brown, to me, is like my MVP of Community.
She is. She's the most underused character in the entire cast. But when she is able to be used, she is the funniest person.
Yes.
Like everything that they do with her is truly the funniest shit, and all of her episodes are the best ones.
Genuinely.
Like, it's so yeah.
And you think she's going to have pipes, and we get, as you mentioned, maybe a second, maybe two of her doing like this grand gospel, and then it cuts, which
if you're gonna I do understand it was a tough place because obviously these episodes are always super long. They always have to cut them down. And if you have to cut a song down, hers is the least funny, unfortunately, because the funny thing about it, like you were saying, was the setup for it with the kids and then her going full gospel with them. I do think that if they were more committed to giving her something, they would have made the song that she sings funnier,
right?
In a way that I think would have then justified keeping it in. But also I do think they often would have leaned a little bit too much on Shirley's a mom and she's basically an evangelical Christian.
Yeah,
and that's kind of all they would do with her at certain points. And I think this is also a symptom of that, where it's like, well, what else can we put in the song? This is all she is, right? Which is another way that they would just frequently do her dirty. And I was never faulted Yvette Nicole Brown for leaving the show after season 5.
Yeah, no. And you went on to great things, so you're fine.
Yeah. Right. Because I think season 5 honestly was the worst season for her. They treated her the worst that season.
It's so sad.
They gave her nothing to do that whole season, which is a bummer. But the little bit that we get to hear,
it's so good.
Great.
She's
fantastic.
Singer. She's a great performer.
Yeah.
And then we get Britta finding Jeff in the hallway, and he does his, you mentioned Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but he is Donald Sutherland in this moment.
Yes.
He's doing the outreach.
Instead of the point in Scream, it is having a hand out because he's singing a high note and the mouth is wide open for that. It's such a clever spin on that, on that moment from Body Snatchers. So good.
And Joel McHale can sing. And so this is his only thing, because Jeff Winger wouldn't be joining in fun song until he's converted to the Glee Club. But this is not Joel McHale's first time doing a Glee related parody.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Joel McHale was one of the performers on the 2010 Emmys opener.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was joined by John Hamm, Tim Gunn, Randy Jackson, Jorge Garcia from Lost, Tina Fey, and even Betty White was in this bit, where 4 of the Glee cast members were complaining that they didn't have the money to get into the Emmys, so they had to perform in the Emmys regional. This was all performed and sort of coordinated by Jimmy Fallon. Because this was his year hosting the Emmys, Derek.
I would have to see it to pass judgment on that, because I can see how that could be funny. I could also see how it would be very annoying.
It's surprisingly good because it is playing on the idea that it's 2010 and Glee is huge. And there's even a good bit, the prize for the regionals that they're competing in is the exact amount of money plus $5. It's a good sign gag.
Okay.
Tina Fey is funny in it. Betty White is funny in it. It's weird that John Hamm is there because it's also the era of Mad Men. It's
Mad Men.
It's weird in the way that any Emmy bit is weird because of the things that are big that year and of who they got. I mean, this being the last year of Lost and having Jorge Garcia literally sing and dance with the Glee kids.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty cool. I see the appeal of that for sure.
Yeah, they even get like Jane Lynch involved in it. It's pretty good. And then Lynch would host the Emmys next year, and then she would parody Glee as well because she had access to do that parody. And then that would sort of be the end of Glee being big enough to make it for the Emmys opener. So it kind of was these 2 years were the years you could do it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That is very funny. And that's very funny they got Joel McHale to do that.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, Joel McHale, because Community was so big at this time now too. Like everyone who shows up, it's because, Tim Gunn showing up is because like whatever Tim Gunn's fashion show was, I can't remember which one is which.
Wait, what was that? Was that Project Runway?
Yes, he was Project Runway. And he, he like undresses Jimmy Fallon and says, make it work. And that, it's all you need.
Sure.
Yeah, funny. You should absolutely watch it. It is both pre-recorded and then shifts into live at the Tim Gunn scene. So it is also a good bit of television.
That's pretty clever. Okay, cool. That's so funny. Wow.
Yeah, but it is 6 minutes long. So
okay, well,
a little bit of panning from critics of being like, the Emmys are already long enough. We don't need 6 minutes on Glee.
Yeah. Cool.
But back to Community. Now they're converted, Derek. They're all converted.
I do. I mean, that's the other thing that's funny about this episode is that like you do get to a point when everyone has been fully infected, essentially, and so you just have a section of the episode where they are in their like heightened Glee personas at this point, which is very funny.
Yeah,
and everyone is like obsessed with regionals and stuff like that, so it's great.
I do like Mr. Rad's whole when he does his heel turn with Abed and he reveals that it's not just regionals, that it's like, and I'm not even going to remember all of them, semi-regionals, paranationals, whatever it is.
That was one of them was like national lower zone semis.
Yes. At one point in time, it's just words. It doesn't even mean anything.
Right.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I do think, and I think the episode actually is good about like giving you, it's not that it's a surprise that Mr. Rad is evil, but giving you little hints of the extent of how sinister he is. Like, I think I like about this episode, one thing I do really like about this episode is that like, I know part of the joke is that it's just like, don't try to force like lightheartedness just because it's Christmas, because that's traditionally what TV does and stuff too for Christmas specials. But like, this is an episode where like, for a season, especially that is like very, very hard on everyone, like making fun of Britta and being down on Britta. A lot of this episode is kind of centered on like, okay, like Britta is one of ours though. Like one of the first clues early on that Abed starts noticing is the way Mr. Rad's like not going to let Britta sing in the pageant. Being like, but it's like Christmas. Like the whole point is that everyone's allowed to like kind of have fun. And then that kind of comes to a head here where like, not only is Abed realizing like, wait, this isn't just for Christmas. This is like, he's trying to trap us in like Glee Club permanently and make this our entire lives. And then also like all Abed wanted to do is just have a fun time with his friends for Christmas. And now Mr. Rad's like trying to control the show that they're putting on and not letting Britta actually participate because she has to be like a silent tree in just like a plain brown leotard, which is very funny. It's a fun turn that then Abed starts realizing like, wait, maybe this guy is actually like kind of evil and like has no interest in just making Christmas a fun time for everyone.
Yeah. And that's where Abed says, I have to fix this. And that's when he says, Britta, you are going on for, I guess, Jeff or whoever the Mouse King is or whatever.
I think Abed was the Mouse King.
Oh, that's right. Okay, right? So take my role. Yeah. And she doesn't change costumes. She just goes out as the tree.
With a tree with a crown on. That's what it is. It's so funny.
Obsessed. The audience reacts to it being Britta. I love that.
I think an all-timer that I have used many times, like it just replaced the name in, is Dean just looking up and saying, oh, Britta's in this? That's like my go-to whenever I discover someone I do not like is in a movie I'm watching unexpectedly. I just think of like, oh, they're in this?
Oh, Dean Cain's in this? Just incredible. This was so amazing. I loved this so much. Jillian Jacobs can sing, so having her sing badly is kind of also an incredible feat.
Everything
Christmas time!
Oh, Britta's in this?
I got a Christmas time for me! I got a Christmas time for a treat!
No! She's ruining it!
Christmas time! Me so Christmas, me so merry!
It ruins the show. But like the dean and the audience is like, no, it's Christmas. She should perform. And that's when Mr. Rad has his breakdown and admits to killing the past Glee Club.
God, it's so wild. It's so funny.
Derek, again, just because the ending of the Glee episode we talked about was so painful and bad, the ending of this being also like a nicely designed story was such a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, that fucking Glee episode, no one learns any real lessons. There's, like, no actual narrative cohesion to anything. It's just a bunch of stuff that happens and everyone gets what they want for some reason. This episode that is a heightened, high-concept parody of the show Glee that's also an Invasion of the Body Snatchers parody that's meant to be absurd and meant to be making fun of a traditional Christmas episode has, like, a stronger narrative, an actual mystery that has a solution, and has characters, like, learn lessons from it and go through character arcs. It's so funny how much better structured it is as a written episode of television than that Glee episode was.
Genuinely, I tried not to text you because I watched it immediately after we recorded with Hamish. And I was like,
really?
God, I hope Derek watches this soon because it truly was a balm on my heart. And I needed it.
Yeah. Because it even, like, the note that it ends on is really nice because after all of this, the whole thing is that it's sort of like, well, I guess we just can't force lightness where there's darkness because it's just we're just going to make things worse. So, all right, never mind. We're not going to hang out for Christmas. And then everyone else, and then that's when, like, at the end, they all kind of get together and visit Abed at his apartment where it's just like, yeah, you know what? So what if, like, shit's been dark before? Like, that doesn't mean that we can't spend the holidays together, you know? Like, we can still, you don't have to force things to be light to just, like, have a good time together, you know?
Right.
Which I like. That's a nice lesson. Don't try to overdo it with, like, the niceness and warmth of the holidays, but that doesn't mean you should, like, also avoid that too. Like, spend time together and you'll have a nice time inherently.
Well, and they, like, get together and watch the not Doctor Who special. What is it? Inspector
Space Time. A joke that I think was a funny bit when it first started, and then I think they really ran into the ground.
Way too far. But we're not too much. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
So this, but honestly, Derek, this felt like a better homage to the Star Wars Christmas special than happened on Glee. And
oh my God, I wasn't even thinking about that. Yeah, that's right, because the fucking Glee episode was ostensibly meant to be also a Star Wars holiday special parody and fucking did nothing with it.
Yeah.
This, which is barely part of the episode, is just like there for 2 seconds, still does more with and has like the hologram band that plays in it, just like is it Jefferson Starship that plays in the holiday special? Just like that, like immediately they're doing more with the concept, and the episode isn't even predicated on being about that when the Glee episode was supposed to be. Oh my God, that's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
God, that episode was so bad.
It was so bad. But I think that's why me and Hamish had so much fun talking about it, because we don't.
Sure.
We don't actually talk about that many bad things on gimmicks.
Yeah, right.
So
I don't regret doing it. And Hamish, if you're listening, like,
you were perfect.
I'm so glad we did that. It was so fun. But the episode itself sucked, and this one doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how different those things are together when they came out at the same fucking time.
Same
That's
fucking
so
week.
Funny.
I mean, I wish in my heart of hearts that Glee had come first and this had come second. But it is wild if you're like, you were starting your week and you watched Community, and then you got to Glee and you were like, fuck Christmas, I hate this holiday. I found the darkness. The only thing we have left to talk about is the end tag, which I
don't like it.
You didn't like it? I loved it.
No, I think it's stupid.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I think it's stupid, but I think it's awesome stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. I find it annoying. It's one of my least favorite tags, actually.
I just kind of love the incidental characters of the Community world, and so I loved them having their little bubble moment.
That's true. That's true.
Anytime Luke Youngblood shows up on Community, I'm like obsessed, and just like he's so incredible. He's also so young here that it's weird to think about the man he will become.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That is a good point. It's cute. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But that's it. We now have covered 2 Christmas episodes. One that was fantastic and one that was not.
Yeah. Yeah. What a nice I mean, I do think that, like, for Christmas media, that is kind of the vibe, right? Like, your Christmas stuff, you kind of have to be aware that you're either going to get absolute garbage dog shit or you're going to get really, like, amazing, like masterpieces. And like, it's kind of often a toss up. Like, so many Christmas classics are like not really good movies. And so many things that are like fun to watch on Christmas are not good things or good episodes or whatever. And sometimes that's kind of the charm of it, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that also means that it's like really nice that when then you get a Christmas episode that's like just a bunch of fucking fun and is actually like really well done.
Yeah.
So I love this episode. It is, again, I do think that like the first three there was only 4 Christmas episodes Community ever did. The first 3 are all kind of bangers in different ways. And this one I do think maybe out of the 3 is like the most fun one.
Agreed.
You know, like this is the one that I feel like I tend to go back to the most. Watch the most.
I mean, I love the claymation one, and from like a design, like it's amazing.
But that episode is like a work of art, you know? Like it's funny. It's so funny, but like it's not. It's very different from an episode of Community. You know? This one is so breezy and like kind of and so silly and like kind of dumb, but also really smart at the same time. Like. It's so well done.
Yeah, it doesn't the claymation doesn't have they're not going to tell you whose birthday it is. Like it doesn't get to that high of comedy, but I think it hits the heart much better.
Yes, absolutely.
And I love the season 1 one, but I almost feel like it should be studied in like a comparative religions class. Like it's like a good episode of TV period.
I think that episode is a good like character based episode of television. Yeah, I totally agree. But that's the thing that I love about Community, and I love about these episodes, the Christmas episodes, that like every single one of them is like so totally different from the other. You know, they're not just doing another version of the same thing, which probably can't say the same thing for Glee, I imagine.
No. Well, and Hamish and I intone to you, like they just get worse and worse. And until, I mean, I don't think I mentioned this on record, but I watched every single Christmas episode for our conversation.
Oh my God.
That is maybe why, no, that's why I needed this. Like I probably should have watched this so much sooner.
Yeah.
And I'm Christmased out, gang. Like I don't need any more. Bring on the Valentine's Day episodes or whatever else is next.
Yeah. No New Year's episodes on the roster. I feel like
no. I could watch the 30 Rock where Jenna is in a film about Martin Luther King Day. I suppose that's the next one that I could offer.
Incredible. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Derek, this was so much fun. This was such a blast. I'm glad we did. I'm really glad you suggested this as a price of entry for the Glee one.
Yeah. And look, like there's so many Community episodes that we could cover on gimmicks. So I feel like it kind of makes sense to throw some of them out as a bonus, you know, so it's not taking up too much of the schedule. But like I inevitably will do another Community episode at some point in the future that will not be from season 3. Unless we're really compelled to do one from season 3.
I'll try. Yeah. I mean, like if we can get Megan Gantz to come on about cooperative calligraphy and I can make her answer for her crimes of introducing the term bottle episode to the public, then we will cover it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks so much, y'all. I hope you have a wonderful Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, and have a wonderful New Year. We'll be back with new episodes in February.
Yeah, we're going to take a little time off, which is good for Derek and I after that Glee marathon.
Yeah, but have a wonderful rest of your year, and we will see you back in the new year.
And until next time, friends, keep
being weird.
Glee is what I'll spread to my friends, like a virus that sends them to a healthier place. Glee, I'll understand every scene because they'll sing what they mean instead of making a face.
Families are closer when families are winning.
Everything's cooler when cameras are spinning. Singing and dancing in unison. In Glee is the gift that we need.